Hello, this is Catherine from Accelerated Reader. Today I will be reading Key 3, M Mindfulness, from 10 Keys to Attain Happiness, based on data-backed research, by RAJAT KHATRI. Before I begin reading, I would like to give a big thanks to the author for sending me this book to read on my channel. In the description below, I've included links where you may find and purchase this book. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Key 3. M. Mindfulness. Be present. The present moment is filled with joy and happiness. If you are attentive, you will see it. Thich Nhat Hanh, Zen Master. Now that we have understood the importance of appreciating and gratitude, we need to look for the things around that we can appreciate. This can be done through mindfulness. Once upon a time, two monks named Yesmi and Nomi were walking returning to the monastery, and they had to cross the river. At the bank of the river, they saw a lady crying. Since the water level had increased, she was unable to cross the river, and her infant was alone at home. Yesmi immediately picked up the lady and crossed the river. The lady thanked him and left for her home. After walking for some time, Nomi speaks up. "Do you know what you have done? Our master said not to look at women, and you spoke to her. Our master said don't speak to women. You touched her. The master said, don't touch a woman. You carried her." Yesmi was surprised at the question and said, "Yes, I carried her, but I dropped her half an hour ago. It's you who is still carrying her." This story is all about our two inner states of mind. The first one being in the suffering state, where our default mood is negative with emotions like anger, fear, sadness, irritation, and failure. The second one is about the beautiful state, where our default mood is positive with emotions like joy, happiness, calm, courage, and wholeness. Nomi represents the suffering state. Yesmi, on the contrast, represents the beautiful state. Nomi was agitated before the event, during the event, and after the event. His negative thoughts led him to act irrationally. On the other hand, Yesmi was present in action, and once the action was over, he left the event completely. This was all because of mindfulness. What is mindfulness? Mindfulness is the basic human ability to be fully present, aware of where we are and what we're doing, and not overly reactive or overwhelmed by what's going on around us. Mindfulness both begins and ends in the body. It involves taking the time to pay attention to where we are and what's going on. And that starts with being aware of our body. Research. A Harvard study found that people spend 47% of their time thinking about something other than what they are currently doing. The experts estimate that our mind thinks 60,000 to 80,000 thoughts per day. That is 2,500 to 3,000 thoughts per hour. It is, therefore, very obvious to get distracted from what we are doing to what we are thinking about. The study also found that one is comparatively less happy when his mind is wandering because a major of the thoughts, that is, around 70 to 80% are negative, and thus we think about all the bad things happening around us, just making us unhappier. Dilemma of multitasking. One of the key factors of not being able to be mindful is our capacity to multitask. Multitasking is one being able to perform more than one task at the same time, though not giving justice to either of the work. As per Professor Daniel C., the Nobel Prize winner in economics from the University of Princeton, he conducted experiment on the emotional happiness of women while they were busy with different activities and found that women were least happy when they were with their children. While studying their behavior further, he realized that it's not that their kids are not important for women, but while being with their kids, these women were only physically present, and mentally they were struck in other things like office work, email, phone, and household chores. Tal Ben-Shahar, a lecturer at Harvard University and co-founder of the Happiness Studies Academy, in his movie Happiness 101 with Tal Ben-Shahar, has given an interesting analogy to this. It's like, let's assume you have a favorite song, say song A, and you rate the song as 10 out of 10, and want to listen to this now and then. You also have your next favorite song, say song B, which you rate as 9.5 out of 10. Now, when both the songs are being played together, it's not that you are going to enjoy the music as 19.5, but it will be chaos. In a similar manner, when we multitask, our mind is not in a position to focus on both the things together. At work, when we have our emails, phones, and notifications being popped out, we tend to get distracted and want to attend to them first. This is like losing 10 IQ points, which is something we can lose when we don't sleep for 36 hours. On the contrary, another study on this behavior has shown that employees who spend 1.5 hours of focused time are significantly more creative and achieve desired results. Work-life balance. We have heard this phrase thousands of times and have assumed to balance the work and life so as to give sufficient time to the family members along with completing the work. However, there is yet another hidden clause, that is, stress. It is not sufficient to spend time with the family alone, which doesn't guarantee you a proper work-life balance. The clause is being physically and mentally available with the family. Have you ever experienced that when you wake up, you start thinking about what you have to do throughout the day, leaving that very moment unattended? Now, as you progress through the day, you start thinking of what next has to be done. So till the time you are at your home while getting ready, having your breakfast, and while your drive to the office, you are constantly thinking about the day at work. As you reach the office, your thoughts are all about the plans for the evening, either with friends or family. Even when you are working or in a meeting or doing some official work, your thoughts are around your family, and like this, the day at the office ends. Again, after returning back home, you start thinking about what's not being done and what has to be done on the next day. So, ideally, we carry our work home and our home to our work, and as a result, we are not enjoying our personal as well as professional life. We are continuously thinking about the next moment, not realizing that we are not enjoying the present moment, and in parallel training our mind to be anxious about the next thing. The restaurant story. A well-known restaurant that had its signature dish being prepared for ages and being sold and loved by everyone, realized that over the last few years, their customers weren't happy with their food and their ratings were deteriorating. They did numerous feedback sessions, but results were the same. However, nothing had changed in their kitchen, neither the cook nor the recipe. They hired consultants to find the actual reason behind the sudden fall. After undergoing a few experiments, even the consultants were unable to find the reason. Despite all attempts, they were unable to identify the reason for the same. They decided to go through the videos of recent years and past years. After looking for the videos to check the behavior of customers now and a few years ago, and that's when they could find the reason. In recent times, customers were clicking the photos of the food and uploading it on the social networking sites. And while eating, they were also waiting for the comments on their posts, and thus their attention was completely on their phone rather than food, and for that reason, their enjoyment of the food was declining. This was never like this a few years back, when the cell phones and social networking wasn't there. As a way out, they ran for implementing promotion, which somehow was very much attractive. And as a result, they followed a strategy. They started offering discounts to customers who were ready to hand over their phones while entering that restaurant. After implementing that sudden strategy, they found that customers without the phone started rating them better compared to the ones with the phone. This is a typical and perfect example of mindfulness, as we are not mindful of what we are doing, eating, or performing. Rather, our focus is on other things that continuously declining our level of happiness. The way out. The obvious way to mindfulness is meditation. What is meditation? It's an act of focusing one's mind for a while in silence or with the aid of chanting for religious or spiritual purposes, or as a method of relaxation. Eventually, it comes down to the same point of focusing on one thing at a time. It has been scientifically proven that meditation can bring happiness. A group of neuroscientists led by Dr. Richard Davidson at the University of Wisconsin-Madison wanted to figure out whether years of meditation had changed the brain of an expert monk. They connected 256 electrodes to Matthew Ricard, a Tibetan who had given up a career in science and spent decades on meditating in the Himalayas. Dr. Davidson and his colleagues were astonished by Ricard's brain signature. They have never seen anything like this before. The activity in his left prefrontal cortex, responsible for subduing negative emotions, and abnormal gamma wave levels, suggesting signs of bliss, led them to name him the happiest man in the world. But this wasn't an isolated finding. As it turns out, experienced meditators across the board show fascinating improvements to their brains. Not every time it is about experienced meditators, but even novices who learn meditation, practicing over a few weeks, beginning to see changes taking place. People perceive meditation to be an act of sitting in a particular posture and spend hours sitting with eyes closed, but Vishen Lakhani, founder of Mind Valley, in his 6-phase meditation, has guided meditation to consist of 1. Connection. In the first phase, we need to focus our consciousness throughout the body by making a connection of the brain with every part. We need to feel a loving life, peace, joy, and an emotional connection with the body. Slowly, we need to expand this connection from the body to our home, our neighborhood, city, region, country, and progressing further to the planet. 2. Gratitude. For phase 2, we need to bring our attention to 5 to 10 things that have given us happiness in the last 24 hours or week. We need to think about all the good things happening to us, like our family, work, and career. We need to focus on every big and small experience that has given us joy. Finally, we need to express gratitude for everything that we are currently possessing. 3. Freedom from negative thoughts. During phase 3 of meditation, we need to bring into our mind any such incident or person with whom we had a negative interaction lately. We just need to ask for forgiveness from them and forgive them wholeheartedly. We also need to ask for forgiveness from any such person with whom intentionally or unintentionally we have done something wrong in our life. Lastly, we need to ask for forgiveness from ourselves and forgive ourselves for any act of negativity which was done recently or in the past. 4. Creative visualization. In this phase, for 2 to 5 minutes, we need to visualize what we want to achieve in the future. We need to visualize our career, family, finances, our character, and also our love life. This should be a free-flowing exercise. As a human, we tend to overachieve in 1 year, but underachieve in 3 years. 5. Intentions of the day. In the 5th stage, we need to unfold our perfect day. We need to see all the good things happening to us. We need to see our workday, friends, families, enjoying lunch, dinner, and even having a good night's sleep. 6. Blessing. In the last phase, we need to call upon any higher power, almighty, mentor, parents we believe in, and seek for their blessings to provide us energy, strength, and happiness to unfold a happy day and also a happy life ahead. Source: the 6th phase guided meditation. Vishen Lakhani, YouTube. Some common excuses for meditation. I don't have enough time. I have nowhere to meditate. I can't sit down on the floor and meditate. I can't sit down with spine erect. It is paining. It's so boring. I am not good at it. It's not my type. My mind wanders and I'm unable to stop it. I don't know where to begin. Kids, spouse, and phone interrupt me often. Have already tried, it's not working. It's expensive. I have to stop thinking, and I can't do that. I can't get up early in the morning. I don't know which type of meditating to choose. There are too many out there. Activity. Activities to be done for practicing mindfulness are: 1. Taking micro breaks. 2 minutes break. Eyes closed and deep breathing after every 90 minutes of work. Calling the loved ones. Meditating, sitting in silence for a couple of minutes. Having lunch, tea without emails, phone. Experiencing the me time. 2. Macro breaks. Taking a complete day off once a month to relax. Once a month, get involved in some initiative, something different than work. A vacation without the office work. Stay tuned for Key 4. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe. In the description below, I've included links where you may find and purchase this book.